At the beginning of February, the official SMX Race Series Instagram account put up a post in recognition of Black History Month. And let me just say, the response from the dirt bike community was nothing short of disappointing. The comments spanned from outright bigotry and racism to more subtle yet incredibly tone-deaf responses, flattening the notion of Black history in dirt bike racing down to one singular athlete. Let me make this clear. James Stewart is an incredible dirt bike racer and an integral piece of the sport's history. However, if you look at that Black History Month post and the only thing you thought of was James Stewart, you're kind of missing the point of Black History Month entirely. To be blunt, Black history is American history, and it's actually a slap in the face that the United States government decides to only officially recognize Black history for one singular month out of the year, the shortest month at that. And much like a lot of the dirt bike community's reaction of highlighting one singular Black athlete and then calling it a day, Black History Month in the mainstream media and education system all too often gets flattened down to focus on only a handful of Black individuals and their achievements. This essentially acts like a PR pressure release valve for corporations and those who want to do the very bare minimum to show that they're not racist. So while the SMX post about Black History Month was an act of corporate optics control, the embarrassing and racist response by our community really just showed why, however flawed they may be, efforts to raise awareness around Black history, such as the commemorative Black History Month observed in the United States, remain to be important. So, in an effort to do what Black History Month is supposed to do, I decided to investigate the critical efforts Black people have made throughout history in order to lay the groundwork for the existence of dirt bikes and dirt bike racing, the hobby that all of us here today know and love. You heard that right. If it weren't for the people I'm going to talk about in this video, dirt bike racing may have never existed. And no, this is not a video all about James Stewart. The dude is an incredible athlete, and I will talk a bit about his contributions to the sport toward the end of this video. However, I think it's important we attempt to fill in the gaps that were left out of history class, the ones that go much deeper than just the highlights deemed palatable by our education system. To do that, we need to rewind the clock about 400 years or so. Before we get into that, unfortunately I do need to make money, but before you skip ahead, for this video I'm going to be extremely brief. The very best deal I currently have available for you the viewer is my 40% off discount code for the Slacker Digital Sag Tool. If you ride dirt bikes, you'll probably set your sag at some point, and this tool makes it dead simple. You can use code SOUP, S-O-U-P, at checkout for 40% off. Now, back to the video. In the 1600s, the English colonies in America, among other countries, formalized chattel slavery into law. Chattel slavery being the enslaving and owning of human beings as property, able to be bought, sold, and forced to work without wages. If you're like me, you probably already learned this in history class, and hopefully you came to the conclusion that this practice, and a lot of what came with it, was an abhorrent violation of human rights. You'd be right. But unfortunately, it seems a lot of our history classes kind of just stop there and gloss over that uncomfortable truth, refusing to draw the connections beyond it. You see, in order for engines, motorcycles, and dirt bike racing to exist, you need a lot of infrastructure. Roads, steel, railroads, manufacturing, other industries, and a labor force to keep it all going. In the English colonies, later the United States, and elsewhere around the world, a huge portion of that infrastructure was built by enslaved and later exploited Black labor. Enslaved people produced most of the world's cotton, which was one of the primary fuels for the Industrial Revolution. Many of the systems that allow our world to function today were created around the cotton industry. To quote the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., The fact is that capitalism was built on the exploitation and suffering of black slaves and continues to thrive on the exploitation of the poor, both black and white, both here and abroad. And he's right. The factory system and mass production manufacturing, global capitalism and supply chains, modern transportation infrastructure, and even our banking and financial systems are all products of enslaved and exploited black labor. All of these systems are prerequisites for motorcycles, cars, engines, and racing. And it wasn't just chattel slavery as a whole that helped lay the groundwork for modern conveniences such as dirt bike racing. There are many key black figures who contributed to early industrial technology. Let's take some time to learn about some of these people. Take engineer and inventor Benjamin Boardley, for example. Benjamin Boardley was born in Maryland in 1830. At just 16 years old, he showed signs of incredible mechanical ingenuity. And at that time, he built a steam engine out of a gun barrel and other various materials. Boardley later went on to work at the U.S. Naval Academy, where, despite having his wages sent to his master, who allowed him to keep $5 per month, wow, how kind, he was able to build a steam engine which he later sold. He then used those profits, along with the money he was able to save up from his oh-so-generous, absolute thief of a slave master, to develop and build an even larger steam engine, which ended up producing enough power to run a 26 to 30 foot long Navy cutter. Now, of course, he wasn't even allowed to patent this design himself. However, by selling the engine, he was able to raise enough money to eventually buy his freedom. Despite all the odds, this dude was an absolute legend. Now, you may not have heard of Benjamin Boardley before, but it's quite possible you have heard of this next person I'm going to talk about, and that is the real McCoy. Elijah McCoy was a mechanical engineer born in Ontario, Canada in 1844. His parents were fugitive slaves who escaped Kentucky and fled to Ontario using the Underground Railroad. Yes, they were absolute badasses, and much like his parents, so was Elijah. Eventually, he and his family ended up in Michigan, where Elijah worked as a boilerman and an oiler at the Michigan Central Railroad. But at his own home-based workshop, he invented an automatic lubricator, which was used to oil the steam engines of locomotives and ships. The Michigan Bureau of Labor and Industrial Statistics reported that by 1899, the McCoy lubricator was in use on almost all North American railroads. It was so popular, in fact, a theory circulated that railroad engineers requested Elijah's design by name, asking if a locomotive was fitted with the real McCoy system in order to avoid inferior designs. So yeah, as you may or may not have realized, lubrication systems are fundamental in even the most modern engines, and Elijah McCoy was one of the engineers who contributed heavily to their development. As you can see, black engineers like McCoy and Boardley, among many others, helped develop industrial technology that made engines practical and widespread today. Without people like them, we wouldn't have dirt bikes. Now, obviously, a video about black history and dirt bikes wouldn't be complete without mentioning James Stewart. But before we talk about him, I want to share the story of another amazing black motorcycle rider with you. Bessie Stringfield was born in North Carolina in 1911. At 16 years old, she learned to ride her first motorcycle. And 3 years later, when she was only 19, Bessie set out on a solo motorcycle journey across the United States, something that most of us could only dream of doing. However, she didn't just stop there. Bessie completed 7 more long-distance trips in the US. She rode through the lower 48 states and also made motorcycle trips in Europe, Brazil, and Haiti. She competed in flat track racing events and made money through motorcycle stunt shows. Later, during World War II, Bessie was a civilian courier who carried documents between domestic U.S. Army bases on her motorcycle. She ultimately moved to Miami, became a nurse, and founded the Iron Horse Motorcycle Club. Bessie was dubbed the Motorcycle Queen of Miami by local press, and in 2002, she was inducted into the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. The AMA even created the Bessie Stringfield Memorial Award to recognize outstanding achievement by a female motorcyclist. Now, I know that Bessie's story isn't directly connected to off-road dirt bike racing. However, I thought it was quite interesting, and I look forward to reading and learning more about her, as well as the others I mentioned prior in this video. I think Bessie was not only a testament to the great things Black women can accomplish, but also a great example of how motorcycles can aid in making all of our lives more rich and exciting. Finally, I'd like to leave you with this. James Stewart was, and continues to be, one of the most influential athletes in dirt bike racing, period. Yes, he is Black, and it makes sense that when moto fans see an Instagram post about Black History Month, they immediately think of James Stewart. They then probably think about his brother Malcolm, maybe even their dad, Big James, who I've actually had the pleasure of meeting a couple times. And on one hand, it does make me happy to see that a lot of people can recognize how impactful the Stewart family has been for our sport. But once again, the way I see it, we still have a whole lot of work ahead of us, not only as a community based around the sport of dirt bike racing, but also as citizens of a country that has cast centuries of irreparable damage in its wake. The response of the racists and bigots in the comment section of the SMX post just goes to show that we have not done enough. Our country has failed us by putting a band-aid on a festering wound and pretending it's just going to magically heal without additional care. Our education system has failed us by not truly interlacing Black history into its curriculum to effectively highlight the degree to which Black folks have contributed to society. And we have failed ourselves by not doing the necessary research to fill in those gaps. Hell, I wish I would have looked into all this information way sooner than I did. There are so many incredible and inspirational stories out there that have been smoothed over to uphold a narrative that is very clearly manufactured to make our country look like the good guys. I hope at the very least this video was able to help you zoom out and think a bit more deeply about all the contributions that helped our favorite sport come to be. My wish would be that moving forward, when we see racism or bigotry within our community, whether online or in person, we do a better job at snuffing it out. I saw quite a few comments saying, well, what do you expect from the dirt bike community? Are you really surprised that many people in it turned out to be racist? And my answer to that is, sadly, no, I'm not surprised. I'm greatly disappointed, but I'm not surprised. My dream is that someday I will be surprised. I want our sport to be approachable for everyone, accepting to all, and representative of positive change in the direction of progress. And if you feel the same way, you'll probably enjoy Soup Moto. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.